Podcast for life.
It is over. Started at 4 o'clock, ended about 7 something-ish, 7:40 something-ish. Ladies and gentlemen, the Podfather is here. Daddy's home, Philip Antoine. I'm here to give you the WWE Extreme Rules 2018 Instant Analysis. 8 o'clock on the dot at the time of this recording, Pacific time. We're going to get through this pretty quick, hopefully. Alright, I'm not going to be going over anything on the kickoff show. I was at work, unfortunately, didn't have time to watch it, but I will go back and watch the stuff. I know Sanity, they defeated the New Day, so congratulations to those boys for that. But let's get through it. So the first match on the main card, the B Team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, they go on to defeat the Deleters of Worlds. Yes, Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. I believe this is not Bray Wyatt. This is Bo Dallas's first title on the main roster. He's been there for about 3 years now, or 3 or 4 years. Congratulations, Bo. You know, this is awesome for these guys. Alright, I mean, this is really something. The unbeaten Cinderella run of the former Miz Taraj members results in this. I mean, this is great. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I did think that their luck would run out and Hardy and Wyatt would retain, but you know they didn't. They didn't. There was some good back and forth between Dallas and Wyatt, of course, real life brothers, the sons of IRS. You know, if he's not in the Hall of Fame, put him in there. God damn it, IRS, amazing. Yeah, it was great. You know, the finish of the match, Dallas smartly pushes Wyatt into Hardy, and then or Hardy into Wyatt, sorry, and who was flying, and he got sent straight into Axel. Bo Dallas hits his, I don't know what it is, this elevated neck breaker that he has on the top rope, where the legs are on the top rope, and he just does like a corkscrew type deal, or swinging neck breaker, and gets the job done. I give the match a C. It was fine. It was nothing amazing. It was nothing extraordinary. It was an okay way to start off the show. It was decent. It really, really was. You know, it was nothing great about it. There was nothing amazing about it. It was simply okay. All right, next up. This isn't a match, but I thought it was very, very interesting. Kurt Angle. He talks about Brock Lesnar showing up at UFC, and he gives Brock 3 ultimatums, really. He can show up at Raw tomorrow. He can work out a deal for his next challenger, or if he doesn't want to do any of those 2 first options, he gets option C, and he is stripped of the WWE Universal Championship. Where the hell was this 6 months ago? Like, come on, seriously, guys? Where's the rule where if the champion cannot defend their title for 30 days, they are stripped of the championship? They're stripped of the hardware. It's gone. They can't hold it anymore. It becomes vacated. We get a new champion. I don't know. I really don't know. But that rule needs to come back into effect. Seriously. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen on Raw for that. Alright, Finn Balor. A man who was John Wayne Tough and James Dean Cool. He defeats Baron Corbin, the Constable. Not Baron Corbin. Constable does mean Peacemaker. So, Peacemaker Corbin. It was okay. It was alright. You know, Balor gets a win in the victory column. This was okay. You know, they had a little back and forth. Balor railed for a surprise victory in a short, intense contest with Corbin. It was okay. Saw a nice deep 6 by Corbin. Saw a nice sling blade by Finn Balor. Corbin set up his end of days finisher until Balor countered him with an inside cradle, which was very good. I give the match a B-. It was quick, short, simple. Gets Finn on a pay-per-view, gets him a win on pay-per-view. Just that's basically what this was for. That's exactly what this was for. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, then after that, we move on to Carmella. Mella is money. Carmella, she goes on to defeat Asuka to retain her SmackDown Live Women's Championship. I believe she's at 94 days right now. So she hits, or 96 days, so she hits day 100 like on Thursday. Congratulations, Carmella. This match was nothing special, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, this is the lowest graded match on this whole card from me. I gave it a D. There was nothing really special about it. This was the match where James Ellsworth was supposed to be suspended above the shark cage, which he was, and then he threw down Carmella a lock. Not a lock. What was it? It was a chain. He threw down hairspray. None of that worked. So then Asuka just starts kicking and throwing amazing strikes, firing back at Carmella. And then James Ellsworth picks the lock of the shark cage, and he gets out to an extent, but he's dangling. His foot gets caught on the shark cage, and he's dangling upside down while Carmella's on the outside. Asuka gets back in the ring, and she just starts going to town on Ellsworth, kicking him. And then some crew members, security or whatever, I don't know what they were, they try to tell Asuka to step back. They lower the cage so they can put Ellsworth back in it, but she beats a couple of those guys up, and it was funny. Heavyset Black One, he made eye contact with Asuka, his eyes kind of opened, and then hauled ass out of the ring. That was a funny spot to me. Anyway, Carmella sneaks back in the ring, pushes Asuka forward. Asuka's head hits the shark cage. Carmella retains the SmackDown Live Women's title. Really smozzy finish. Just mailing it in, seriously. Really just mailing it in. There was nothing exciting about it. But, it's whatever. I said that I did think Carmella and she needed to continue her reign as champion, and I'm glad she has the title, but the match overall didn't do anything for me. I know some of the smarks are pissed off, but that's okay. Carmella defeats Asuka. Moving on, Shinsuke Nakamura gets his first piece of gold on the main roster. He goes on to defeat my boy Jeffrey Nero Hardy to become the new United States Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to look up the official time on this match because I'm absolutely curious. So, it starts off with, Jeff Hardy making his way to the ring, Shinsuke making his way. I don't know why the champion made his way to the ring first. I'm never a fan of that. I believe the champion should always make his way to the ring last. His or her way to the ring last. Alright, so anyway, yeah. Hardy makes his way to the ring, Nakamura makes his way to the ring. They're both in the ring, and then before the match can even start, Shinsuke Nakamura delivering one of his famous low blows. And yeah, so that happens. Hardy, he's looking to get up. He finally does get up, and then Shinsuke, the bell rings. Shinsuke hits him with a beautiful Kinshasa, and he becomes where's it? 6 seconds. There it is. 6 seconds. 6 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, the B team was 8 minutes. Finn Balor, Corbin, 8:20. Carmella and Asuka, 5:25. All right. So 6 seconds here, and becomes the new United States Champion. I think this is the quickest title change ever. Actually, no, wait. Bob Backlund and Diesel. Yeah, this is one of the quickest title changes ever. So then Shinsuke's celebrating, and then we hear a familiar song. Randy Orton, his theme music plays. Don't forget, Randy Orton is a former United States champion. He lost it at WrestleMania in that fatal four-way that involved Rusev, Jinder Mahal, and I forgot who else was in it. But yeah, so Orton, he makes his way to the ring. Shinsuke gets out and stands on the announce table, and then Orton looks at Hardy. I thought he was going to RKO him. No, he double legs him, and he holds his legs for a little bit, and he looks around. Then he just stomps right on his genitals. I mean, Jesus. That was a very vicious stomp. I don't think Jeff Hardy can have any more children. I mean, as Jim Ross would say, by God, that killed him. Killed any chances of him having reproducing or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was a vicious looking stomp. Oh my. Yeah, so I can't wait. Of course, Jeff Hardy has a rematch on SmackDown. I'm very interested to see where this goes with not Jeff Hardy, but Shinsuke and Randy. I think it's going to be something very interesting. Shinsuke and Randy, I think their styles of wrestling and the way they conduct themselves in the ring will complement each other. Randy, he makes everything look so smooth and flawless. And Shinsuke, he can make strikes look very, very vicious when he absolutely needs to. All right, so I gave that whole thing a B plus. The match, the little thing with Orton, I gave it all a B plus. All right, so moving on from that, my boy Kevin Owens, shout out KO. He defeats Braun Strowman in a steel cage match. Now, it wasn't a traditional defeat. Kevin Owens looked completely terrified throughout this whole match. So as far as victories go, this is an unlikely one. It was really painful to watch, matter of fact, but it's a victory for Kevin Owens. So Braun Strowman, he corners Kevin Owens. He says, "Fight me, fight me." Your shirt says, "Fight Owens, fight. Prove it. You're a coward. Fight me." Begging him to fight him, which I think was a little odd for a man of Braun Strowman's size to be begging another man to fight him. I thought that was odd. So Kevin Owens tries multiple attempts to climb out of the ring and just not get the job done. So then Kevin Owens, he finally starts fighting him, throwing some punches, throws a lot of super kicks in this match. I think he throws even one kick that where Braun goes down and goes into the corner. Kevin hits a cannonball, and they're just fighting it out. And then I think the best part of the match was the handcuffs, or one of the best parts. I'm not. Let me rephrase that. The smartest part of the match was the handcuffs. I don't know where Kevin Owens got handcuffs from, but he handcuffs Braun Strowman to the ring rope next to the door. And then Kevin, he could just run away easily, but no, he's getting retribution. He's beating on Braun Strowman. He's super kicking him. Kevin gets choke slammed while Braun is handcuffed. Shout out to the amazing choke slam by Braun Strowman. And then after that, Kevin, he makes his way over to the corner on the opposite side of the ring, tells Braun to suck it, starts climbing up the rope, starts climbing up the cage, and blows a kiss at him, and Braun rips the cuff off, and Kevin, he's running. Shout out to Kevin Owens, the nice stunner he did earlier on in the match. That was fine. And then moving on from that, Kevin and Braun scale up the structure, and so after that happens, it was probably one of the nastiest bumps I've seen Kevin Owens take. I think it was even nastier than when he got thrown off of that, 15-foot ladder by Braun at Money in the Bank, crashing through those tables, or the announce table. Yeah, so they're on top of this steel cage, and let me remind you, I don't know exactly how tall this steel cage is, but the ring itself is like 3 to 4 feet off the floor, so there's that height added with the steel cage, so that's quite a ways from the ground. They're on the top rope, and Braun is looking around, and the crowd's like, yeah, they're chanting for it, and he just has Kevin by his throat, and he just pushes him off, and Braun, I wouldn't have done that. I would have pushed him in the ring. I would have let him take the bump in the ring, but he didn't. So Kevin goes flying through the announce table, the American announce table, and Kevin Owens wins because whoever's feet touch the floor first, they win the match. And Kevin Owens did, so Kevin Owens has beaten Braun Strowman, not in the typical way that he should have, but he did it nonetheless. Alright, this match was 8 minutes and 5 seconds, so that's not bad. That's really not bad at all. Alright, I gave this a B+. I did. I enjoyed the fact that Kevin Owens got a victory. The crazy bump, it's Extreme Rules, I get it. I'm not for guys doing all these crazy bumps and killing themselves. I'm more of a psychology guy, I'm more of a character work driven guy, and then an incredible work ethic in the ring and putting on a classic as well. But seriously, congratulations, Kevin Owens, getting a win over the boy, Braun. No, getting a win over the monster in the bank, LeBron Strowman. Alright, moving on. Next up, we have the Bludgeon Brothers. Harper and Rowan. I still don't understand why Eric Rowan is employed, but moving on from that. They go on to defeat Team Hell No to retain their SmackDown Live Tag Team Championships. Earlier on in the night, I believe it was after the B-Team, or the Kurt Angle segment, whichever one, I forget. Harper and Rowan attack Daniel Bryan and Kane. They put Kane's foot in between a door and a wall, and they get the mallet and they hit it. And so we don't know if Kane or Daniel Bryan can wrestle later on in the night. And then moving forward, we have Harper and Rowan Or no, we have Daniel Bryan make his way to the ring alone. Then we have Harper and Rowan. Then it's a handicap match for a while. And then the big red monster. It's gotta be Kane. It's gotta be Kane. I didn't have time to play the drop. Yeah, so Kane makes his way to the ring wearing a cast on a medical boot. Medical boot on his foot. And yeah, it didn't look that great from there. Daniel Bryan still did all of his greatest hits. The backflip off the top of the ropes and all that stuff. He tried to do a suicide dive, got caught by Eric Rowan. Luke Harper tried to do a suicide dive. Bryan moves out the way. Harper collides with Rowan. In the end, the B team they win. They go over. So I guess this is leading to Team Hell No winning titles at SummerSlam. I would hope so. A lot of people thought The Miz was going to get involved here, and I personally didn't want to see it, and he didn't. Congratulations. All right, so this match was 8:20, the same as the Balor Corbin match. So a lot of matches were really kind of lengthy here. All right, moving on from that, we have the Destroyer, Bobby Lashley, going up against the big dog, Roman Reigns. By the way, Harper, Rowan, Team Hell No, they get a C. Alright, so Lashley versus Reigns, Bob versus Roman. Gave the match a B. B+, actually. It was cool, it was fine. It wasn't boring. I'm surprised that the crowd, I didn't hear any boring chants, really, which was a major shock for me. Yeah. I mean, there were some early Rusev Day chants and the Roman sucks chants. That's the new norm in pro wrestling, and crowds trying to hijack the show, which I'm disgusted with the fact that they even do that. Yeah, so it's interesting, I mean, but we're in an era where death taxes and Roman Reigns wins the main event is all but expected, So that wasn't the case tonight, They had a solid match, The Death Valley driver from Roman when he throws Lashley over the top rope, we're like, oh my god, that people were wondering did his head hit the apron, but he came down. That was a decent bump by Lashley, coming down hard on his shoulder. Roman throwing a Superman punch while Lashley was on the top of the rope. That was cool. Bobby Lashley with a diving axe handle earlier on in the match. Bobby Lashley with a nice scoop power slam. It's not as nice as Orton or Goldust, but it's still pretty nice. That was cool. Yeah, so Roman was really working heel tonight, Matt. Well, not officially working heel, but there were heel tendencies. I do enjoy Roman's new move. I should have said this weeks ago on the Bulletcast, but his where the guy's trying to get in the ring and then he does that nice leg drop on Famouser. I really do enjoy that. I like the new move. Roman throwing another new move in the arsenal, showing you marks that he can work, showing you people that he can wrestle. I think Roman Reigns could wrestle circles around your Kenny Omegas. Yeah, I said it. Comment down below your New Japan marks. But yeah, this was a very good one. Roman got beat with his own move. That's a real big takeaway. Roman was getting cocky. He's like, "This is my yard. This is my yard." Runs, hits the rope, and he's going for that spear. Lashley, bam, collides with him, catches him, gets the job done. And this match was about 14 minutes and 50 seconds. Congratulations, man. Congratulations to my boy, Bobby Lashley, getting the job done over the big dog. And then Lashley was on the post show saying how, he's the new big dog. He's ready. Sam Roberts and Renee Young hosted that show, and Roberts alluded to the podcast Lashley did with Roberts a while back. And Lashley said there are two matches he wanted: Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. He's beaten Roman Reigns. And now he says he wants Brock Lesnar and he wants the Universal title. Bobby Lashley said he wants to take the Universal Championship off of Brock Lesnar. That's going to be something very interesting. I hope they come face to face tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw. Alright, moving on from that. Little Miss Bliss, Alexa Bliss. She goes on to defeat Nia Jax to retain her Raw Women's Championship in an Extreme Rules match. Nia Jax had Natalya accompany her to the ring. Okay. Mickie James was accompanied Alexa Bliss to the ring. We understand there's a partnership there. Ronda Rousey was at ringside as promised. I gave this match a C. It was okay. It was fine. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't absolutely incredible. I think Ronda was probably the best part of the match. Doing her judo slam to James, throwing her out of the ring and over the announce table. That was cool. Ronda with that 30-day suspension is over on Wednesday. She was suspended from Raw. She wasn't suspended from WWE as a whole or live events or pay-per-views. That's why she has been wrestling at live events. So there's a continuity for you guys. There was a spot earlier on where Alexa would try to hit Nia with something. Nia would just catch it and throw it into the ring. She did that with chairs, garbage cans, garbage top lids, and kendo sticks. So all that was going on. Yeah, Ronda, she sees an unfair advantage for Nia. I mean, not Nia, for Alexa, and Ronda just runs in there and starts hauling ass. Starts taking people out. I love everything about it. I really do. But then Ronda, she starts to get assaulted with, I believe, was it a chair? I think she was getting assaulted with a chair. I want to say that. I can't. Oh, it was a kendo stick. It was 2 kendo stick shots that she was getting hit with. Yeah, so then Bliss gets back in the ring, hits Jax with a DDT on the chair for the pin, and walks out champion. It was fine. Nothing special here. I gave this match a C, as I said earlier. All right. That was. I didn't realize there were 10 matches on this card. Well, main card. There were plus like the 4 others on the kickoff show. So there were like 14, anywhere between 12 to 13, 14 matches tonight. Wow. All right, the phenomenal AJ Styles. He retains the World Heavyweight Championship, the real world title, not the Universal title, not your IWGP Championship. No, he retains the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, a championship real men hold. All right, great. This was great. I gave it a B. There were some close near falls where I'm like, oh my God, is Rusev gonna do it? Is Rusev going to walk out of here as WWE champion? No, it didn't. It didn't happen. It's interesting. I mean, despite the WWE title, the most prestigious title, failing to get to the main event status once again, it's now been 2 years since it main evented a dual branded show. That's ridiculous to me. That is ridiculous to me. Styles and Rusev combined to empty the tank in the entertaining match that took the Pittsburgh crowd a long time to get behind, which it was crazy. It's very crazy that it took Pittsburgh, a crowd that's supposed to be really hot, to get behind this. Rusev, he took an awkward bump on the ring apron early after falling from the top rope and sold a left leg injury throughout the match, which was really good. It prevented him from, applying the accolade a couple times. Really good storytelling. Styles, he worked, hurt, sold as always amazingly. Styles had some similar trouble locking in his calf crusher as Rusev routinely countered and worked his way to the ropes. It was just great stuff, man. Aiden English, he made his presence felt late as he removed the top turnbuckle pad behind the referee's back. Rusev attempted to force his leg into working long enough to apply the accolade. Styles countered. Rusev ended up hitting the exposed turnbuckle. Styles hits the 450, doesn't get the job done. So Styles, he drop kicks Aiden English. Styles gets on the apron and he calls for that phenomenal forearm. He calls for it. Boom, hits it clean as day, smack dab in the middle of the ring, and walks out WWE champion. Congratulations, AJ. You got a B, my man. You got a B. You got a B. You're not a B plus player. I mean, absolutely not. I would never say that about you. You're one of my all-time faves, man. Seriously. I don't know where Rusev goes after this, man. I really don't. I feel like he was the true transitional challenger, as who said that? Brandon said it on his Under the Radar, and that's so true. That is so very, very, very true. It was something very interesting to see. All right, let's get to the main event. I was shocked. I was very shocked that this main evented a pay-per-view. The WWE Intercontinental Championship main evented a WWE pay-per-view. That doesn't happen very often, ladies and gentlemen. Right off the bat, this match got a B+. There were no A matches on the show. A lot of B's, a lot of B+, three C's, and then like one D. But yeah, man, it was something interesting, man. Let's break this down real quick. All right, so I'm not a fan of early falls in the match. I'm really not. I enjoy the sudden, like, there's 30 seconds left. Who can get the fall? Who can walk out the champion? I enjoy matches like that, like the Brett Shawn where if they went into overtime because nobody got a fall. I enjoy stuff like that. I love stuff like that. That makes wrestling fun. All right. So the 30-minute Iron Man match, it was a surprise main event slot for Ziggler and Rollins. This stuff doesn't happen quite often. Well, Rollins has been in the main event before. Ziggler hasn't been in the main event in quite some time, so this was more shocking that he was in this slot. But that's fine. That's okay. So they had the opportunity to produce an instant classic. Unfortunately, it didn't live up to the expectations. In part because it was dreadful performance from the Pittsburgh crowd, and also WWE overbooked the heck out of it. They did, man. It didn't work, man. I don't know, man. I mean, it doesn't mean like WWE comes up short like in ring competition because they produce great matches. There's always like out of Raw and SmackDown. There's always one match that stands out and we can talk about for the week. But yeah, so let's look at this. I mean, both guys traded 7 falls in the first 15 minutes. Like that doesn't make any sense. The crowd spent 30 minutes going into business for themselves, and that's another thing I don't like. I don't like crowds going into business for themselves. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. I don't like anything about it. I hate it. I personally hate it. I hate crowds that like to hijack the show, I was watching with Floman Reigns and Mex Mendoza, and Mex Mendoza, that guy he doesn't understand wrestling. He really doesn't. He was like, "Where are the beach balls?" Acting like a complete Neanderthal. Like, that's ridiculous. You're there to watch the show. You're there to enjoy what the men and women are doing in that ring, whether it is cutting a promo or putting their bodies on the line by having a match, or even a dangerous segment. Show them some respect. Jesus, you pathetic marks. Alright, so yeah, there were multiple chants. There was the yes chant, and then there was whenever the clock would go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, counting down for the next minute. At the 0, they'd go, like it was the Royal Rumble. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Enjoy what's happening in the ring. God. Alright, so Rollins, he packaged he hit the turnbuckle powerbomb with the unique cradle on the inside to get the first fall. Just minutes later, Rollins kicked out of a roll-up and instantly hit the stomp. Rollins is 2-0. He's up by 2. Alright, then McIntyre comes in. He starts assaulting Dolph. McIntyre comes in and starts assaulting Rollins, and then that makes Rollins 3-0. He's up by 3. Ziggler's down by zip, He doesn't have anything. So then it was something very, very strange after that. Rollins is on the outside of the ring before hitting a Claymore. So yeah, Drew hits a Claymore on Rollins, and then Ziggler took advantage, gets a pinfall. So now it's Rollins 3, Ziggler 1. After the restart, Ziggler hit a quick super kick. Rollins 3, Ziggler 2. Ziggler gets the pin. Rollins blocked a second super kick merely seconds later until Ziggler reversed into a zigzag, putting it at an even 3-3 tied. With 17 minutes and 50 seconds left to go, 2 minutes later, Ziggler stopped a suicide dive with a forearm and pinned Rollins with his feet on the ropes to take the first lead. Ziggler 4, Rollins 3. And then the final 15 minutes of the match saw the pace slow and near falls become the norm. Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know, man. I don't like a lot of near falls, man. I really don't. The final 5 minutes, despite being part of so many quick falls early, this just under 3 minutes to go, Rollins slingshotted Ziggler into the corner, rolled him up, he tied it 4-4. And then this, I think the most really, not jaw-dropping, but the agonizing, not in a bad way, but a good way, where it gets your heart pumping. Rollins wasn't able to force a tap into the final minutes, both a sharpshooter, and a crossface didn't get the job done. Ziggler hit a famouser for the final 2 minutes before Rollins countered with a super kick of his own, flooring Ziggler. Then he hits the stomp, and he has like seconds left, and he's crawling. As he gets to the cover, time runs out. So we're like, oh no! Ziggler, he retains, so to speak. And then Kurt Angle, in his hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, won't allow that, so he goes into overtime, sudden death overtime. Next person who gets a fall wins. Alright, so the bell rings. I don't know why the bell rang with Rollins on the inside and Ziggler on the outside. Both competitors, or all competitors in a match, have to be in the ring when the bell rings for the match to officially start. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Anyway, continuing on from that. So Drew McIntyre was ejected earlier on after he hit the Claymore, or before he hit the Claymore. He was ejected. He just hit the Claymore, to give Dolph the win. So McIntyre makes his way back out. Rollins hits him with a beautiful knee. Dolph catches him with a zigzag. 1, 2, 3. Dolph Ziggler retains the Intercontinental Championship. Woohoo! You go, Dolph. You go, Dolph. You are my boy. You are my boy. Great stuff from Dolph. Yeah, so like I said, I gave the match a B. As for the show itself, it was okay. I'll give it a C. I'll give it a nice C, a nice C plus. I'm waiting on SummerSlam. There's going to be a lot of great stuff to happen. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. I went about 31 minutes. I'm gonna cut it here. All right, I will see you guys on Friday for the regular episode of the Bulletcast. Brandon will be returning. I should be the champion right now. I should be a 2-time Bulletcast champion, but that's okay. I still have the briefcase. I'll cash it in when I see fit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Please, I hope you enjoyed Extreme Rules. I hope you enjoyed whatever festivities. Congratulations to France winning the World Cup. Peru, they're trash. They couldn't get it done. Mexico couldn't get it done. Just the rest of the people in the World Cup, you guys are trash. Shout out France, getting the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed your week in professional wrestling. Next week is probably going to be a good one. We have to wait and see. Goodbye and good night, you stupid marks. Bang.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.